Hello my dear Guzheng friends, welcome back to my channel. Today let's talk about the strings of the Guzheng. Are you ready? Let's go. To select a good Guzheng, not only the material and workmanship of the body of the Guzheng are very important, but also the quality of the strings will affect the sound. The strings are the heart and the soul core of a Guzheng to produce beautiful sound. Playing the strings with high quality can make the sound more melodious. The difference of the strings is due to the different internal and external materials used in making strings. The elements of making strings determine the comfort level of the timbre and tactile impression of the strings. At the same time, the different materials and diameters of the strings will also directly affect the touch and the tension of the strings. The types of internal and external materials used for making strings can be divided into the following items. The materials for making the string cores are silk, steel wire, copper wire, and double-strength string. The double-strength string is made of two or more string cores intertwined, and its flexibility and softness will be stronger. Therefore, its manufacturing technology and price should be slightly higher than the traditional string. The optional materials of the outer skin of the strings are nylon, silk, gold, silver, and etc. Historical development and evolution of the strings. In the early days, people would use the parts of animals to make strings. The sound of such strings is very soft, but the volume is small. It's easy to go out of tune, and the service life is short. In the Chunqiu period, around 2,800 years ago, China's silkworm breeding industry was highly developed, and people began to use silk to make the strings for the Guzheng. The use of silk strings continued until the 1950s. The timbre of this kind of string is soft and has strong flexibility, but the resonance of silk string is not strong, and it's very easy to break. After that, with the rapid development of the Guzheng performing techniques, the Guzheng players have higher and higher requirements for the strings. The strings with steel wire as the core and wrapped with nylon wire have been created. The strings have stable intonation, long surface life, and the timbre is close to the silk strings. It has overturned people's tradition of using the silk strings for more than 2,000 years and has become the most popular strings now. The bare steel wire strings are also used in some areas. For example, Chaozhou. The sound of such strings is more solid, delicate, and full of charm. Let's listen to the sound of the bare steel wire strings. In addition to the types of metal strings with steel core, copper core strings have been emerged after development. Compared with the steel core strings, copper core strings have better flexibility and more moderate softness when played them. Classification of modern strings. Modern strings are divided into three categories: Class A, Class B, and Class C. Class A strings are more suitable for playing the traditional Guzheng sounds, because the strings are relatively soft and have a long rhythm. Class B strings are relatively hard and suitable for playing modern Guzheng music, such as the sounds that especially pursue granularity, speed, and strength. But the choice of strings is not absolute. Class A strings and Class B strings can also be selected according to personal preferences and playing requirements. There are also Class C strings. Class C strings do not refer to steel wire GuZheng strings. Class C strings are often used in some special types of the modern guzhengs, such as the 7-string guzheng or the guzheng have more than 21 strings. These 3 different types of strings can be chosen according to the needs of the music and your own liking. How to check the quality of the strings? First, look at the weight of a string. In fact, there are certain standards for the weight of the strings. For strings of different thickness, the number of turns, density, and quality of nylon filament wrapped around them should meet certain standards. For some inferior products, the quality of the steel wire inside may be poor. The number of turns of nylon wire may not be enough, or the quality of nylon wire might have problems. Then its overall weight and quality will be greatly reduced, which will affect the touch and the sound quality of the guzheng. Second, check whether the nylon wire wrapped around the string is uniform and smooth. When we play them, there is a simple method for evaluating the strings. We can touch the strings with our fingernails or with our hands to see if the surfaces of the strings are smooth and elastic. If the smoothness of the strings is moderate and there is no rough feel, we can preliminarily conclude that the quality of the strings is good. Third, check the quality of steel wire and nylon wire in the string. The pitch of a string is determined by the effective string length. When the effective string length reaches a certain length and its tension reaches a certain degree, it then can reach the desired pitch. The string to the left of the qinma is used to price for achieving 2 different pitches. If the quality of the strings is poor, there will be problems such as the strings cannot reach to the desired pitches, or the strings will be easily broken after pressing. Well, if the bridges are placed incorrectly, it will also lead to breakage of the strings. How often should you replace the strings? Usually, to decide whether you should replace the strings depends on whether the strings are rusty or the nylon wire wrapped around the strings are broken. If any of the above situation happens, you should replace the string in time. In addition, if you want to be safe before the performance, you can replace the thinner strings and the strings that need to be pressed frequently during the practice, so as to avoid the embarrassment of sudden breakage of the strings during the performance. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Welcome to leave your comments below. I will see you next time. Bye.